Well, welcome back, Clear Lake peeps. Ross England with Clear Lake Guide Service and your Clear Lake report for June 6th, 2024. 6/6, 2024. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to start off with water conditions and water temperature. Those are going to be my two big ones. I got out on the water today, Longship County, fished down through the Narrows, down past Monitor, maybe another mile or so down that direction, just because I hadn't been down there for a while and just wanted to see, for myself, how that was all shaping up. And I'll go over the temperature first. When I launched at the county park, it was 75 degrees. I'm just going to round it off. As I fished my way down through the Narrows, when I got into the Narrows, it was 71 degrees. As I fished my way down, as the day got longer, and I got down in the Monitor area, the water temp kept coming up and up and up. And down in that area, I found 76 to 78. And then I pulled into one last spot down in the same general area, and I found 83. So there you have it. Depending on where you are on the lake, it's going to be anywhere from, and what time of day it is, it can be anywhere from 71 degrees to 83, 84 degrees. I saw all of that today, and I just fished from 6 o'clock in the morning until about 12:30. So just in 6.5 hours, I saw that big of a change. Now, the news that you saw going around, there was a picture posted of supposed to have been shot of Clear Lake from a satellite, and it showed the lake pretty green. I don't know if they did it with filters or what they did, but last week and this week, I didn't get into any areas that looked like that picture suggested. Don't get me wrong, there are multiple, there is a plethora of colors out there on this lake right now, depending on where you are. If you look at some of Bob Tyler's videos from down in the Keys, it's a green slop down there. I can tell you that I saw in my running around today, I found water that I had 3 foot of visibility, nothing on the surface. It actually looked pretty good. I had areas that there was a little film on the surface, but it wasn't anything that bothered anything. And I failed to get into any one given area where I saw pea soup. Many different colors of water, anywhere from stained like muddy water runoff to almost clear, just so much suspended particles that you couldn't really see through it. So, I'm still going to say that for the bulk of the lake, from what I got through, water looks pretty good. There's a couple of bays that are starting to show some weeds. I specifically went today looking for areas I didn't even fish in. I just kind of idled through them, watching my side scan, looking for weed growth, and in some areas I could actually see weed growth, on the surface. Now, part of that is just because the lake is dropping. So, but overall, I don't see the weed growth like we've talked before that we have in the past. Lake level is currently at 652, which is a drop from 683 or 685, something like that. It's like 0.3 of a foot down this year or this week. When you run around the lake, you got to realize that even though I'm saying it's only 3 or 4 inches that it dropped this week, it's done that for 4 weeks, 3.5 weeks. So there's a pretty good slime line, or bathtub ring, as some people call it, around the lake. And it looks like it's dropped 2.5 feet. Well, it actually has come down at least 1.5 feet. So, but count on this from this point forward, probably 2 to 3 inches, you know, especially if the weather's as hot as it was today and it's supposed to be a couple more days next week. I mean, we're coming into summer, so on top of what they're pulling out for Yolo County, the evaporation is going to get to be a big deal. So, okay, we talked about watercolor, we talked about lake level. What am I missing? I'm sure I'm missing something. Upcoming activities. This weekend there is a bank event. I don't know what their organization actually is called. I just see it as BANC. I think it's Bass Anglers in Northern California or something like that. They got an event this weekend. Typically they go out of the Lakeport area. There's also a catfish derby that I believe starts Friday night that goes through the weekend as well. If you want any information on the catfish derby, probably any of the local tackle shops here in Lakeport, or the one down in Clear Lake Oaks, or Jimmy down at Redbud should probably have some information for you. Let's talk about fishing a little bit. Oh, before I forget, let's switch gears real quick. I know I don't talk about crappie fishing very often, and the reason is because unless it's wide open and off the hook, I just don't do it unless it's accidental catches or incidental catches, however you want to call it. Ran into my buddy while I was picking up a rod that he repaired the tip on today, Ed Legan. He's a guide here on the lake out of the Clear Lake Oaks. I watched, while I was talking to him, I watched his clients catch 2 crappie. That's what they were fishing for. So if you're looking for a crappie trip, he fishes out of either, depending on the size of your group, out of a bass boat, or he's got a pretty decent pontoon boat that he runs with an inboard in it, so he can flat scoot around. So Ed Legan, and his phone number is area code 702-497-8938. So I didn't make a mistake, it's not 707. He has a leftover Las Vegas phone number. So 702-497-8938 if you want to try to get out here with a guide who will specifically fish for crappie. He's most of his guides have kind of just all pushed crappie trips towards him with a few exceptions. So, and speaking of guiding, these summers are just ripping me up, so I'll be working a very reduced schedule over the next month and a half or so. If I have available dates, they're on my calendar at clearlakeguideservice.com. If you fished with me before, you can text me at 707-349-1427. And even though it may not be available on the calendar, we may be home and I might be able to do it. So, okay, let's talk about fishing a little bit. Last week, we kind of had a mix. The topwater's killing me. I'm just going to be upfront about it. It's just killing me. It should be locked on. It should be good. And it should be fairly consistent. I haven't found any of those to be true. I can go out one day, like today, catch 5 topwater fish. I can go out with a client or go out myself another day, catch 1 or 2. I don't find any consistency to it. Now I'm talking about open water, topwater fishing, poppers, walking baits. Frog fishing, maybe a totally different ball game. I haven't done it yet. Just been doing too much other stuff. So at any rate, that's my take on the topwater fishing. I don't know what to say. I know there's guys catching glide bait fish, At least that's what they're reporting that they're doing. I think a lot of it is centered around the creek mouths and the creeks themselves. My experience over the last couple of weeks, we seem to do okay drop shotting and throwing a shaky head. Surprisingly to me, the shaky head was producing a little bit better quality fish than topwater was on a good day that we had topwater fishing. So, you know, the lake is just different. You know, you got to bust yourself into a lot of these little willow pockets and fishing behind a lot of this stuff. And yes, there's still fish spawning, but I haven't got into an area that the water was clear enough that I could see them. I had one day that I saw a few fish that were milling around, but other than that, no. So anyway, that is going to be my report for today. Very happy that almost every day we get out, we're getting a little bit better sized fish. Still not seeing a whole lot of small fish, although in the last 2 trips out, I think we've caught 3 or 4 that are just keeper size or smaller. So I actually was encouraged to see them. So that will do it, and we'll see how next week goes. If everything goes right, I'll get out and be able to do a quick run around, reconnoiter, and be able to put you out a report. So if not, we'll see you when we see you.